Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon,
Maximus Shans,
Ataraxia Kalian,
and Buster Bilgewater.
Last we left our adventurers, they were adventurers. They were off the boat, leaving the crew behind to squib the ship with Rickety's men, and they were off to find treasure. Treasure have they found? Yeah, they found a little bit, actually. They found some when they defeated a deadly encounter of ogres, and they found one in this pool of water they currently are residing in, where a water elemental is trying to suck the life out of them. As Buster is 10 feet from the surface, with his party being between him and the elemental, we jump into this week's episode of I Cast Fireball. So, we are at the top of the round here. Before we jump into the top of the round, does anybody need any reminders? Anything from there?
How far away am I from the surface of the water?
I believe, if my notes are correct, you are, 25 feet from the surface, actually. Yes.
I have him as 10 feet. He just swam up. He was almost to the top. Yeah.
That's right.
I know I'm close. I'm one round from the surface.
Yeah, 10 feet, and this is the last round you will have.
and I'm 30 feet, if that's correct.
Yes. Yep,
yeah,
so here
Max
we go.
and the Echo are 30 feet below.
That is correct. Max, you are starting us off here.
Okay, how far away is the elemental from me? I'm 30 feet down.
The elemental, I believe, is 3 dimensions is weird in D&D.
Right next to me.
So we
Right, correct.
So we will say I had 90 feet down. That's obviously wrong. I will say, just for starting into this episode, we will have it be starting at 40 feet, even though I'm sure that's probably wrong. Sorry, listeners. So 40 feet, and you are at 30 feet, Max. So 10 feet from you. Does that make sense?
Okay. I don't know why I keep thinking of these ideas when I never do high charisma characters, but we're going to give it a shot. Work with me, Thomas. Work with me. Max speaks Aquan. This is an aquatic creature.
Whoa.
So Max is going to try and talk underwater, and it's probably going to have some consequences, I imagine, just because I'm letting out some oxygen.
You seriously speak
remember
Aquan?
that's how I understood what the little whatchamacallit creatures on the boat. Yeah.
I forgot it was Aquan. There's so many like sub languages as we talked about.
So I'm just trying to see if the
that's
elemental
awesome.
can speak that, because it's a water elemental. So I'm going to try and talk to it. And I'm just going to say,
this will be your action because you're underwater.
yeah, it takes exerted effort. He will say basically,
how can we have peace with you?
Well, Aquan is exactly what water elementals speak.
Dun, 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 dun.
And it takes a break and like looks at you and like forms into like a humanoid-like shape that is like constantly moving, and like parts of it are breaking off and then reforming due to the water. And it speaks back to you and says,
The treasure belongs in the deep.
so that's your action, and that's the response they gave to you. As a pseudo-reaction, I'll say, since we're in combat, technically. You have movement and a bonus action that you can do. Also free actions. So if it's something simple enough, recall that you can do something like that as well. After Max, we do have Ignis. So you're up on deck.
Can I respond with like my bonus action?
I'll allow one response, but they might not be able to respond back.
Allow us to get to the surface, and I can get it back for you.
Roll a persuasion check for that.
And
Roll persuasion, Ranger.
Oh, but that's an okay roll. I'm not proficient in it, right? No. That's a 17, just a flat 17.
17. Okay. We will see what their reaction is when the return comes. But they haven't changed to an aggressive stance. They've stayed the same as when you were having that very brief conversation. Does that make sense?
And then I'll move more up.
Okay, so you'll swim 15 feet up, So you are 15 feet from the surface then. Okay. Sounds good. Ignis, you just heard something happen. Yeah. Between...
As they get to the surface, you hear the words.
and water elemental seem to respond in kind.
Ignis, being at the surface and seeing that Buster is 10 feet down, will take a deep breath and she'll dive back down. At the same time she's diving down, the Echo will swim up, and together they hook their arms under Buster and pull him to the surface.
All right. Go ahead, and I'll have you roll an athletics check here. It'll be a fairly easy skill check, though.
Because I'm super strong.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Let's go.
That's not what I needed the natural 24, but
You did it anyway.
I did it anyway. Natural 24, 22.
You did it your way. All right, 22, yes. Buster can be pulled up the remainder of the way, and you all three break the surface. Where only two of you need to breathe.
And slowly, we never established how far from the shore we are, but
You're very close.
try and essentially drag them, all three of them trying to get back to the shore.
So you'll do that on your next turn.
Great.
But yes. So you have just broken the surface with your movement and with your action as well. So, all right. We go to Ataraxia.
Seeing my friends have surfaced, Buster's looking a little bit beat up, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm bloodied for sure.
Okay, I'm going to swim out to meet you, and I'm going to give you a 2nd level Cure Wounds.
Let's go.
Not the best roll in the world, but that is 10 hit points.
That
10.
gets me surprisingly close to max. I don't have a lot of hit points.
Oh yeah, you're a wizard.
Level 4, everybody. Level 4 wizard here.
I mean, level 4 wizard probably should have more hit points than I have. I've just rolled terribly.
All right.
So that's action, then bonus action. Max looks like he could use some inspiration down there.
What? Do you just give him a thumbs up under the water, or do you try to project some sort of sound to him?
Yeah, I put my face on the ground and go, "Hey Max, apparently you could talk to water. That's cool. That's really cool."
Just water in general.
Part of me wonders if you play the kalimba, so because that noise might reverberate
Oh, yeah.
a little bit
Oh
further
yeah, through
too.
the water. Sure.
Yeah. All right, take that inspiration then, Max.
Okay, or bardic inspiration, right? D6.
Yes. So this is a D6 for skill check, saving throw, or attack roll.
Yep, and it can be a minimum of 2 because of my epic poem.
That's right. That leveled up last time. Very good. Well, Ataraxia, you are done. The enemy, the elemental, will say, it's their turn, and they are going to drift upwards. Elementals have a speed of 60 when they're in the water. 90. I think it's 90. They have a really big swim speed, no surprise. And it slowly drifts up to where Max is. And Max, as it comes next to you eye to eye, it actually waits for you. And so it seems to be like it's going to move up, but it's waiting for you next to you. And that's going to be its turn. So, Buster, we jump to you. And then the next after this is Max.
And I'm still under the water. How long do I have?
You have a lot more than everybody else. Oh, but you talked. That's right.
Yeah. Why would I have a lot more?
Well,
making sure.
I was saying Buster swam all the way down and
Yeah.
all the way back up, right?
I just went 30
and
feet.
exerted effort. You just went
I think
not
I've
even
been in
halfway,
3
but you
rounds,
did
technically.
expend a
Yeah.
lot. Yes, 3 rounds. You have a few rounds.
Okay.
You're not like you're not Link underneath the water going.
Mhm.
You know, but Buster,
So I'm at the surface now.
yes, you're out of you're breathing air. You've just been healed. You're almost at full hit points again. The Echo's next to you, Ataraxia is next to you, and Ignis is next to you.
Am I still in the water or am I on the
You
surface?
are. You just broke the surface of the water, but you are treading water, and you can now start moving inland if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll move inland. If I can get to the shore, I will get to the shore.
Yep, swim. You can easily get to the shore. Swim. Get
Okay.
yourself completely out of the water holding this statue.
Yes. Okay. And then Do I already understand as much as I can about this statue, or is there more to glean, you think?
So we did have you roll last time, and the history, you rolled pretty low, if I recall.
I'm going to cast Identify.
Okay, is that an instantaneous or is it a minute long? I forgot.
It's instantaneous. I can ritual cast it, which takes 10 minutes, but I know it's not. The duration is instantaneous, but it takes me a minute to cast.
Yes, so it's going to take you 10 rounds.
Oh, so I'm not going to do that then.
Okay.
I'll do detect magic on it then.
Okay, as you detect magic, there is a magic presence coming from this, and it's a divination magic.
Divination. Hey, that's my school. Okay, shoot. I'm keeping this. All right. I'll be like, get out of the water, guys. We're good. Like, I got the thing. Or kill it. Let's get the rest of the gold.
All right, Buster, that is your go, I believe, then. Yes.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Max, we come to you as you rise out of the water, I assume, yes?
No. I'm going to take a turn and stay down here for a second, just to talk to the elemental again. And I know that might shorten my rounds, but I don't know the mechanics of how it works, but I'm going to use Psionic Mind to talk to Buster telepathically. And it doesn't ever say like length of time. It just says telepathically speak to any creature within 30 feet. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to go long here. I'm going to say,
Helmsman, it's me. Don't freak out. It's the guy under the water. Your castmate. Your ship. I've just told the creature that we'll give the statue back. If you don't want to do that, I'm going to stall it for as long as I can. Get out of here.
I don't know if I can respond back psionically, but I'm just gonna. Can I just yell like, "I'm out! Get out! I'm out!"
I'm aware of that. I have eyes.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, I've just tried to relay the message, basically like, get out while I try and stall this thing. So as Max will do that, maybe a bonus action or something, but then he'll turn to the elemental and he'll just say in Aquan,
If you wanted to keep it, why leave it so in the open to draw others in?
It's a good question.
Where do you come from? Tell me about your parents. No.
Shocking. Stalling.
I think
You're drowning. You're out of air.
He's like, yeah, you keep talking till you can't.
I don't choose the location of the treasure. I merely protect it. Whose is it then?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check to keep see if the elemental is going to be swayed to stay down here, because you're the only one still in the water.
Well, yeah, under the surface. That's 16, just a flat 16.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see what the elemental does on their turn. Ignis.
Ignis knows very little about what is going on. Ignis knows that Buster went down and he came back up and he's safe. Ataraxia is on the shore. She's going to swim to the shore. She was right behind little Buster's bunny feet. And so she swims over and she and her echo exit the water and she's just dripping from the water. And her echo is also dripping, but as the drips of water hit the actual water, they don't make any waves or anything. She just like drips and it falls. And she just stands there. What's he doing down there? And all she sees is Max still under the water for no reason. And there's a water elemental that has stopped and looks like his attention's on Max. I'm not going back in there for him. He better get out of here if he wants to get out of here. Do we need to send him down a message? I think he's close enough now, Ataraxia.
If you ask me, that looks like diplomacy.
What? Him staring down an elemental under the water? That looks like diplomacy to you.
It's not killing him.
Making him stronger.
That's Ignis's turn. She's just going to stand on the shore. She has no idea that Buster has a statue. She has no idea that Max can talk Aquan and is conversing with this elemental. but she's not going back in the water. So if Ataraxia wants to use message, that's fine. If not, she's just going to stand here and start wringing out her sashes and trying to dry herself off, take off her hat and start wringing it out.
All right. Ataraxia, your turn, dude.
I mean, if there's anybody who would know that Max speaks Aquan, it would probably be Ataraxia, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn to Buster and say, hey, you've got that spell that can transport people out of a sticky situation, huh?
Yeah. If we need to, I can try and vortex warp.
I mean, cool. I'm into it.
All right. Ataraxia, anything else on your turn?
I'm going to pull out my kalimba and just start playing a little song.
Waiting for the whole party. Okay. Sounds good. As the elemental looks at you, looks back up to the surface, Max, and looks back at you, goes,
I believe your flesh requires air. Let's continue this on the shore.
and starts swimming upwards and goes up, mainly wanting to make sure that the statue is still within reach, and breaks the surface.
What are you doing, Buster? I told you to get out of there.
Oh no! Oh no! I swam to the
you
shore.
didn't tell anybody anything.
Breaks the
Tell
surface
the shore.
Anything Max said.
and comes to the edge of the water
Great.
and stands there waiting for Max. So, and the rest of you. And so you see the elemental in front of you. Max, it's now your turn. So I imagine you swim to the surface at least, yes?
Yes.
Or do you go back down?
Keep talking underwater.
Wait, come
Yeah,
back. Show me your home. I appreciate this furniture.
maybe I should go get the treasure.
Yeah.
Max will swim to the surface and just look at the party just standing there and be like, what the hell? In his mind. Like, not saying it to anybody, but like, why didn't anybody leave? Like, I told them to run. And he'll...
Don't want one person to run.
It hasn't been my turn
When is
yet.
your turn? What is the order?
It's right after the elemental.
Oh, so
Isn't it?
technically, Josh
is.
should be going.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Josh, it is your turn. I apologize.
I run.
So the elemental comes to the shore and then waits, and then Buster, you, on your turn, just... All right. So you run into the forest.
I would like to, before I run, vortex warp our buddy Max out of the water.
Okay.
It's a 90-foot range, second level spell.
You did this on the
And
ship, yes?
It's usually contested, but you can choose to just not contest it. Yeah. So like the same way that I get like the weird vibes when he speaks to my head, Max gets vibes that I'm trying to magically teleport him again.
I roll with life, baby. Let's go.
And I would like to teleport him directly between me and the water creature.
All right. Now, the target is teleported to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. The range is 90 feet. The chosen space must be on a surface or in a liquid that can support the target without the target having to squeeze.
So is the creature within like right on top of me then, or is it? Like,
No. I'm telling you, you're the creature you chose was Max, right? I'm just reading that, trying to understand exactly.
Oh, but
I'm
you're
just
saying
trying to
I could-
understand.
the water creature way.
I'm just trying to understand the spell, honestly. So, what it means by it must be on a surface or in a liquid that can support without having it to squeeze. This is from the Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos.
Like
D&D book, so.
you can't teleport something into a wall basically. Like you can't it has to be comfortably able to fill the space.
That makes sense. I heard surface and I was like, surface of the water? Is this
It's
only a water
because it'd be
spell?
crazy. It'd be crazy if you could just throw someone 90 feet in the air magically.
Yeah.
And then they would just fall because then they're getting
And
like
just die.
90, 10.
96.
Like, yeah, so I think that's why they specify.
Wonderful. Okay, cool. So you get Max and you teleport him up onto the shore in between you and the elemental, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go out of initiative for the time being. Okay?
Cool.
We're out of initiative. Oh, and Buster, you're booking it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I won't dash. I'll just move 30 feet away, like just my movement speed, because I still want to be close enough to help if the fight continues.
And being 30 feet, that actually takes you into the trees away from the lake. So we will exit initiative. Max, Ignis, Ataraxia, and the water elemental here, they are all looking at each other. The water elemental looking at Buster and looking at Max, saying,
You gave me your word to return the statue.
in Aquan.
I cast comprehend language.
Aha!
Aha! Okay.
Max will say in Aquan,
I need to explain the situation to my compatriots. Do you speak common to add to the conversation?
I speak the language I've always spoken, that water has spoken since before time.
Cool.
all right,
Time to explain, Max. I yell from the distance in common, because I heard all that.
Yeah. Buster, you're privy to this. Ataraxia and Ignis, you are clueless of this conversation unless specifically brought in. We'll go with those assumptions moving forward here, okay?
Oh, before I do explain to the party, though, I do want to say, like, to get an answer from the elemental.
Whose treasure is it?
I was tasked to guard this treasure from interlopers and those from the land, to protect it until they could come back and reclaim the treasure they imparted with me.
Who's they? I just need to know to explain it to the party.
They were land dwellers.
How long ago?
My lake has filled and refilled many times over since they have been here.
So they're probably dead.
Is Max relaying this?
No, I'm talking to that. I will in a second. I'm just trying to finish the conversation.
All right. Give me a moment.
He'll turn to the
You have
party.
a moment.
Well, like, maybe a couple. Like, anyway.
He'll turn to the party.
So, it seems that this treasure, this creature has been tasked to protect it. It is not theirs. But they have a duty, a pact, a bind, if you will, to pursue it at any and all costs until it is returned to its safe place by someone who probably died a long time ago.
Land dwellers. Land dwellers put it here.
Oh, do you speak Aquan too?
I can understand it. I cast a spell.
Shout from the side of the lake.
Yeah, you're
Do you
just like,
speak it too?
yeah.
We got... And because the creature didn't tell me it spoke common, Max is going to be very frank with the party. So we've got a couple of options here. We could give it back. We could try and deceive our way out. Or we could just straight up fight, but now we're on shore, so we have a little bit of an upper hand.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Like, obviously this is pirate treasure left here by some other pirates. Is this elemental here not of its own free will?
Yeah, maybe we could say we're the owners. Like, if this is our treasure and it's done a great job, and we're here to take it back.
I mean, those are valid questions. Captain, you are our leader. Would you like to parley with the creature as I translate for you?
I would be so stoked to parlay with this creature.
So Max will turn to the creature as he looks at the lieutenant, who's just did a big old eye roll.
Yeah, she's so annoyed to be standing here talking.
We all know what she wants to do.
I'll admit, it's hard to know if Mickey is doing the eye roll
Oh, no,
or...
it's for sure, yeah. No, it's Ignis.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm being in character,
definitely-
Thomas.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, Ataraxia turns to the lieutenant, just goes, listen, I have one damaging spell. I am built for one. Let me do my job.
Now, as you're playing your kalimba during this, kind of like idly,
Yeah.
Ataraxia, the water elemental comes onto the land and actually starts walking towards your kalimba. And as it has the vibrations, it actually puts its watery hands around it to feel some of the vibrations as you're playing it. And it just does that. It's kind of invasive.
Didn't even ask. Gosh.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is cool. And I'll just keep playing my kalimba and see what it does.
It's just feeling the vibrations from the kalimba. So it's not like doing it, it's just waiting. Because Max said, give me a moment.
Somebody once told me the words. Yeah. I'm just singing a song for this elemental here.
Would a moment be considered like 1 minute, maybe?
This is an elemental, and it's the way that it was saying, like it's emptied, and that their concept of time is definitely different from yours, and it's very unclear what a moment is to them.
As I see that Max and Ataraxia are going to kind of conduct the discord with the creature, I'm going to immediately begin casting Identify to try and get as much information as I can.
Because that's a minute.
It takes
and
a minute.
You're
Yeah.
Let me see if I can try and do this. Okay, gotcha.
Ignis will go over to Buster, seeing his scarf starting
And
to
I'm
glow.
talking and moving my hands. It's everything. VSM.
Yeah. That seems like a lot more of an interesting conversation than whatever's going to happen with this water elemental. So she's going to go over to Buster.
You're having a conversation with the artifact.
Tell me about yourself. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
What are you?
So, Ignis, is your echo pop, or is it here for a while?
I think it's a minute. Let me double check. I have it pulled up.
Okay.
The echo lasts until it is destroyed, until you dismiss it, or until you manifest another echo.
Oh, never mind. So it's here.
No time limit.
It's kind of bored.
So she's here. She's going to stay,
Okay.
and Ignis will walk over.
Sounds good. While you do this, the elemental looks to you, Max, and an Aquan goes,
You have taken 2 moments.
I appreciate it.
There are more people leaving.
They're not leaving. They're just going to the side for a second. This is our leader. He'll point to Ataraxia, the captain of our party, who would like to apologize.
I sensed great energy from this one.
So many good vibes. So many good vibes.
The Feywild you have chosen wise to make him your leader.
Yeah.
Somebody once asked what a stress and change for gas.
Oh my gosh.
Let me be a translator between the two of you, for I cannot speak for the whole party.
And he'll turn to the captain and say, So, he really digs your vibe. He knows you're Fey. He just knew that right off the top of his head. So I will translate for you to work something out. What would you like to say?
Hey, dude, are you here of your own free will, or is this like a bound servitude kind of situation?
And he'll say,
Hey, dude.
an awkward. the word for dude. Anyway, he'll say as best he can what the captain's saying. So at this moment, I will take a step back and let you and Ned talk.
That's fair. Now, as translating into certain languages, I'm not a translator, right? But these languages are so far disparate from each other. Common to Aquan.
There's no word for dude in Aquan.
It's not quite this bad, but in Dr. Dolittle, I read the book when I was really young, and the only thing I really remember is at the very, very end, they needed the help from like this giant snail, but Dr. Dolittle didn't know the snail's language, but he knew a fish who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, and so like it was like 5 translators all in a row, right? And I imagine like, hey dude would eventually become great water spirit, to something like that effect in Aquan, right? And so like that's how I feel like the translation's going to be going to some extent of like between common and Aquan at that point. So Ataraxia, just to recap, you said, is this a bound servitude situation? The Aquan goes,
While my lake was very fresh, I encountered a land dweller who fancied himself a friend and ally of the elements. He knew how to command them and devoted his life to water. They became an ally, and when their friends were in need, they asked me to assist in protecting this treasure.
Wow. That's actually pretty admirable that you're still hanging around here doing that, if I'm being totally honest.
This is my home, and as long as water is part of me, I will be a part of it.
Dude, you're pretty chill. You want to come on an adventure with us?
Curveball. Yeah.
Honestly,
Party
great
member
question.
gain.
Good answer. Good answer.
This is
Yes.
This is gonna turn into like Final Fantasy Tactics, where like you just get a bunch of like people with different jobs. Because you can actually get elementals in Final Fantasy Tactics to be
this
part
is
of your
the
party.
party. This is the D&D party adopting a goblin taken to the next extreme.
It can guard the treasure as it comes with us on the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
As the tide ebbs and flows, sometimes I've moved to action, other times stillness.
And that's actually all it says.
Does everybody remember the poem? Or not the poem, but like the directions?
Oh, from Rickety, you mean?
Yeah, the clear pool is the right path.
Yes. Clear pool is you're on the right path.
Here, the waterfall, ruins behind it. Rahadum, right?
Rahadum, yeah.
By this point, is Buster able to identify it?
What's your name? Who's your daddy?
Why are all of our spells just songs?
Ignis takes one step away from Buster.
Ignis, do you just like immediately turn around and go, no?
Yeah, great conversation
Never
to join
mind. I
there.
don't want to be over.
I didn't learn this in school. I learned this from my mom.
The lieutenant will super respect that.
This is a homeschool wizard.
So, this
Identify.
is actually +1 spell focus for
For
clerics.
clerics only.
Is a cleric for clerics, but you gather when a cleric uses this, they are able to use the divination essentially feature to where they can roll 1 die instead of the 2 one time a day, and then similar to what your class can do with the 2 dice, but they can do the 1 die and store it for later on throughout. So it is a minor version of that for the clerics.
Do I get the sense that this was made with like religious magic, like with
Yes.
faith-based magic? Okay.
Yes.
So I couldn't really like break it apart and like learn how it was made and then make my own.
I mean, anything is possible, but the amount of time that you'd have to spend on that is probably extensive.
Okay. Still, it's still booty. Ooh. Okay. Can I enter the conversation?
This conversation is still happening between Max, Ataraxia,
I don't want to.
and
I don't want to
Elemental.
interrupt on like it prematurely.
You can hear it. Can you say it?
He cannot say it.
Okay, so Max is translating for everybody. Go.
Yes. All right. So we continue the conversation, Ataraxia. I believe it's back to you to respond.
That's literally what he said. I don't know what that means. Like, oh, the water. I'm action and stillness. There's not really a way to translate that different.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell him this. That is the way life is, like water, always in flux. At times the moon is full. At times it is new. At times the sun is in the sky, and at times it is on the other side of the world. And that's all I say.
What the hell is happening?
I kind of want to hear Jacob try and re-communicate that.
He agrees with you.
I'd give you inspiration.
I don't have inspiration. I'll take it.
You don't? Oh, there you go.
He agrees with you.
That the hands and everything. He agrees. Dead.
Oh boy.
As I said, wise for your leader. But I require the treasure back.
I'm okay giving it back, guys.
Oh, cool.
Max will psionic mind to Buster.
It's me again. Are you for realsies? Or is this I'll give it back? Give me a thumbs up if it's for realsies.
I gotta say, he does this so subtly. But Jacob has changed his voice when he's speaking psionically versus when he's speaking out loud.
Wait,
It's
what am
so
I doing?
cool.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, you don't do all like the facial emoting with your teeth and stuff when you're doing psionics. I don't know if you're doing. Are you doing it unintentionally?
I
think
think
you're
I'm
doing it on
doing it to
purpose.
speed it up because when I'm speaking out loud in the conversation, I'm trying to think through things, And then in this, I'm just trying to be like
No.
as quick as
No,
possible.
no, you just go, I'm a master role player.
It's my motivation.
He's an actor,
exactly.
Joshua.
Really, that's what it is. Thinking of, no.
Okay, so Buster's gonna go ahead and walk up with the statue and instead stop yelling, and he'll be like, "Look, Max, tell the creature person that I will gladly return them their. What's the name of the god on the thing? Would Identify give me that?
I will say that Identify will give you that, as Max is vigorously giving you the thumbs up, Buster being like, thumbs up, thumbs up. You are just... and as you like...
I didn't know that
that's what
thumbs
I
up was a
asked in my
communicative
message.
tool. Like,
I said, give me a thumbs up if you're serious. That's why I was doing this the whole time. I was like, I don't know if Buster's serious.
As you're saying this,
Sorry.
you know that this through Identify. I'll say
a lot
because
going on.
this is a fairly basic understand. Well, Identify wouldn't tell you, but Ataraxia, you see it and you instantly know with your knowledge.
Saren Ray, that's who it is.
Boom. Ned knew
Okay.
before I even told him.
Yep.
Yeah.
all right, I will gladly give you this god statue back for information.
Max will relay that. Well, Max is going to twist it. Max is going to twist it for a second. Max is going to say he apologizes profusely.
Ooh.
He apologizes profusely at disturbing the sacredness of your pact, and he only asks for your forgiveness and to answer a query.
Instead of saying, I'm going to give it back if you give me information. He's like, that's probably not going to get the elemental good.
As the elemental's arm elongates all the way to Buster, unnaturally long. It's a little bit weak, and then it has to like. It's weird. He puts its left foot into the lake, and it actually sucks water out of the lake, pushing it towards Buster as like a source, and then as it elongates, gives it strength, and it grabs the statue of Saren Ray from you. And then the statue just flows directly through the body of the elemental down into the lake, and you see it like almost swirling down in a perfect like circle down to the bottom in the exact place that it was in. And the elemental goes,
I thank you for returning what has been stolen from my lake. Your query, if it is in my knowledge, I will answer.
Okay, please ask the creature if it can give us some information about untouched treasures of Rahadun on the island.
Okay.
Do you have any information on treasures elsewhere on the island of Rahadun?
I'm going to roll a history check for this.
I'm specifically curious if there are treasures that no one's taken yet.
I was tasked to guard this treasure till my friend came. And while I have seen other land dwellers pass by in various shapes and sizes, some with glittery objects as mine, I have also seen creatures that have destroyed the land dwellers and brought them away.
And it doesn't really answer your question, but that is their response.
Ah, man. Can we ask another question?
I thank you for returning the statue.
As it slowly like starts backing away into the water, it walks directly to the center of the lake, lifts its hand.
Max is going to say something before it totally vanishes off. Max is going to say,
I'd want someone to tell me. I don't think your friend's coming back. People don't live as long as you've said, and I don't want you stuck here.
As the elemental turns back towards you, or rather, the body doesn't turn, the face just inverts to where instead of facing from you, it comes through its body towards and look at you, with the features very vaguely showing a human or some type of humanoid. Speaks to you.
Until my friend comes again, I will remain here. For that is what water does.
And then just sinks into the water.
I'm starting to think.
Talk to a water elemental, everybody.
I'm starting to
Yeah.
think Rickety Hank just sent us on a wild goose chase. We're not getting any real treasure.
We're not at the treasure yet. You have the map. You guys insisted on stopping here.
I gotta say, Buster, that was like a surprisingly altruistic move you made there.
I'm quite surprised by that as well.
Look, I mean, like,
I'm gonna be honest. I was shocked.
it's
And what about you talking Aquan to the elemental instead of just slicing and dicing him and trying to shoot him in the face with your crossbow? What happened to that
I did try
guy?
and shoot him in the face in water. It seemed like any attack we were doing that wasn't
Didn't really
that was
bother it.
physical
Yeah.
was not doing much. So it was going to be a long fight, or we were going to have to get out of it another way.
It was going to be a really long fight.
Yeah, I get the vibe. I get the vibe that thing had way more up its sleeve than it was showing. Buster says, I'm pretty sure that creature could have done a lot more damage than it did. I think it was really focused on just getting the thing back, not like hurting us, and it didn't really seem too bothered about us trying to hurt it, which is very scary.
Yes, in the words of a ranger I knew, we were in his territory.
Right. I'm
Wise
sorry,
words.
guys. Listen, I love treasure. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, listen, dude. I love treasure too. What was the shtick with that statue anyway?
So it was a statue of a god. You probably know its name because you know everybody's name.
Ray.
Yeah. And Saren Ray, it's a clerical item. It was made by, divine magic and can only be used by others of that faith, order, or devotion.
Oh. We could have given that to Sandara.
What?
We could have given that to Sandara. Sandara's a cleric.
She is?
Yeah.
She is.
We.
A cleric of Besmara.
He looks at everybody, goes, "We all knew this."
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
I didn't. Who are we talking about?
That Ataraxia is the only person that knows the members of the crew. Now, Ataraxia, roll a history check, please.
A history check.
Now, the DC I've got in mind is fairly high.
Well, how does a 3 sound?
Cool.
Baby.
You remember that Sandara's a cleric.
Yeah, a cleric of Besmara.
Perfect.
There we go.
I'll say this. I'm not a big fan of land dwellers. I think they can all eat dirt and die slow. But this creature's a creature of the water, and their friend who I heard the conversation, he says to Max, I cast a spell. It sounds like the person. It sounds like their friend who tasked them with keeping it here is also someone who respects the waves, and so it felt right. I don't know. It felt right to throw those big, dusty ogres down a cliff, but I don't know. It didn't feel right taking it to the mat with this water elemental.
And you know, maybe the elemental's friend was an elf. Elves live for friggin' ever.
I hope their friend returns.
Yeah, I'm really sad for the elemental too. Can we get going?
And I turn to
She like gestures.
I turn to Lieutenant and say, "Hey, look at you, feeling sympathy. Let's go."
Oh, I love it. And you all move forward into the forest, further on your goal, just a day away from getting to the supposed treasure from the Rahadun. And that's where we're going to end this week's episode of iCast Fireball.
Ooh boy.
How's that for the hangings off of a cliff?
There we go.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, what fun. I forgot you could speak Aquan, but since we're doing a boat-based adventure, it makes sense why you would take that as a language, right?
Yep.
Fun fact, just because I want to say this and not forget it, their friend was an elemental wizard. Because in Pathfinder, you can specialize in elemental schools of magic. So
That's
Interesting.
cool.
They could be alive. They could not. Who knows?
The more you know.
Question for you, Thomas.
Yeah.
Have we met an elemental wizard?
No, you have not, unless you're talking about yourself somehow.
I'm just thinking maybe Rickety Hake.
Find his bone.
On a scale of one,
On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely could we have gotten that elemental on our boat?
Well, that's all we have time for this week, folks. So,
Hey, there's a trip back, guys. This is the right
that's true.
direction.
Yes, you're right. We're coming back through
as
here.
Maybe we
always,
learn
thank
more.
you, Ned, Jacob, Josh, Mickey. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode. But listeners, thank you for joining us as always on this fun boat-based adventure campaign. We love exploring these new classes, these new spells, these new mechanics, these new creatures, which we didn't get to go into season 1 because there are so many monsters in D&D, everybody. So many that are so fun that I'm hoping to use to destroy the players here at our table. So I'm really looking forward to all the adventures we're going to have, because if I could throw a deadly encounter at them and be fine, that's all I need to
We're
say.
only level 4, Thomas.
Holy
We're not even level 5 yet. We're only level 4.
So
I support you, Thomas. You're a cool DM.
if you'd like to get in touch with us, you know where to meet us. We've got icastfireball2020@gmail.com. Our social medias at icastfireball20, but especially our Patreon, patreon.com/icastfireball20, where you can join any tier, but our most popular tier, our Discord access tier, where you can talk to us on a daily basis, send us memes, talk about new TTRPGs that we've got coming out. I think we recently talked about the DC-20 TTRPG that's on Kickstarter right now, some of our thoughts and feelings on that. It's a ton of fun. As always, we just want to help your help getting this out there and setting this podcast on fire. Speaking of the TTRPGs, though, Improv Tabletop, it's a sister podcast to us. Ned is the GM, keeper, and whatever other TTRPG that they're looking at there. It's fun. They have a Patreon exclusive campaign with the Mouse Ritter Chronicles TTRPG system. They do Fate Accelerated TTRPG systems, and of course they do their Avatar Legends TTRPG system over there. It's fun. They've got a ton of variety. Don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Tom GDM, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon.
Maximus Shans.
Ataraxia Kalian.
And Buster Bilgewater.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.